Crash! Jake spun around. What was that? He gasped. Another pot had shattered on the ground. But why were his pots breaking so easily? Was something wrong with them? Jake was the best potter in town, or so he thought. He had just finished a big order for a rich businessman. His apprentice, Liam, nervously inspected the pots. Jake, these have cracks. They might not hold water. Jake scoffed. No one will notice. They look perfect. Let's deliver them. The next day, boom! The businessman stormed in, furious. Your pots leaked and shattered. You've ruined my shop. I'll never buy from you again. Jake's heart pounded. How could this happen? That night, he tossed and turned, haunted by a dream. He saw master potters carefully fixing tiny cracks, shaping perfect pots. Patience and effort make true craftsmanship, they whispered. Jake jolted awake. He knew what he had to do. The next morning, Jake carefully examined every pot, fixing cracks and making them strong. With Liam's help, he improved his craft. Soon, his pots became the best in town. The businessman returned and smiled. Now these are real pots. I'll buy from you again. Moral: never ignore your mistakes, fix them, and you'll grow stronger.
Lila was a bright and curious 7-year-old girl who loved bedtime stories, but she didn't love bedtime. Every night when her parents said, "Time to sleep, Lila," she'd reply, "Just one more game or one more cartoon." Then she'd sneak her tablet under the covers and play until her eyes couldn't stay open. In the mornings, Lila felt grumpy, slow, and tired. She'd yawn through math class and nearly fall asleep during art. "Why am I always so sleepy?" she asked her teacher, Mr. Jace. Mr. Jace smiled kindly and said, "Sleep is like charging your brain's battery. If you don't charge it enough, it runs out of energy." That afternoon, Lila and her mom visited the town library where a sleep expert named Dr. Nani was reading a story to kids about bedtime habits. She said, "Did you know? Our brains grow, learn, and rest best when we sleep early. Screens at night confuse our brains and make it harder to fall asleep." Lila raised her hand. "Even if I feel awake?" Dr. Nani nodded. "Yep, that's the tricky part. That's why a calm bedtime routine helps your brain know it's time to rest." So that night, Lila tried something new. She read a book instead of using her tablet. She took a warm bath and wore cozy pajamas. Her mom dimmed the lights and played soft music. And for the first time in a long time, Lila fell asleep fast. The next day, she woke up before her alarm, smiling, stretching, and ready for school. She had more fun, remembered more answers, and even helped her friend with homework. From then on, Lila stuck to her bedtime routine and told her friends, "Screens off, lights low, early sleep helps you grow." Moral of the story: a good night's sleep helps your body and brain stay healthy, strong, and ready to learn.
A deafening roar shook the air. KL peeked over the cliff. "What is that?" he whispered. He saw the massive dragon collapse, its wings broken, glowing faintly. Is it dying? KL had a quiet life, no adventures, no dragons. Just his small village and the endless questions he had about the world. But today was different. Today, he held something in his hands, the last dragon egg. It pulsed with light, as if alive, just like the stories his grandmother told him. He'd always wondered where the dragons went, why they disappeared. His friend whispered, "Why would you keep it? It's dangerous." But Kale felt something stirring inside him. So, despite his doubts, he went to the dragon. "Will you trust me?" he asked softly, offering the egg. The dragon's eyes met his full of ancient wisdom. It nodded slowly, and Kael's body began to glow, filled with dragon fire. The next day, he wasn't alone. Others felt the power too, and more joined him. Soon, the world began to remember the dragons, the fire, the hope. It all started from one small act. Kael began to understand. The last dragon wasn't a symbol of fear. It was a symbol of rebirth. The world was changing, and it all started with one spark. Moral: Even in the darkest times, a single ember can ignite the future. Tia dreamed of winning the village kite festival. She had never flown a kite before, but she whispered, "I'll build the best one." Every day after school, while others played or rested, Tia practiced. She tried again and again. Her kites crashed, tangled and tore. "Why don't you give up?" Others laughed, but Tia just smiled. "Every fall teaches me something." She studied the wind, tested stronger paper, and learned to fix broken frames. For weeks, she worked in silence, while others waited for luck. The day of the festival arrived. Kites soared in the sky. Some rose fast, others tumbled down. Then Tia's kite lifted, higher and higher. It danced with the wind like a bird, strong and steady. Everyone clapped as Tia's kite flew the longest. "Wow," said one boy. "You're lucky." Tia grinned. "Not luck, just lots of hard work." Moral: hard work might take time, but it always pays off in the end. If you had everything money could buy, why would you still feel empty? He had it all, but something was missing. Ryan was the richest kid in town. He had the latest phone, designer clothes, and even a private gaming room. But every night, he sat alone, staring at the ceiling. One day, his driver took a wrong turn and ended up in a small village. There, Ryan saw kids playing with sticks and stones, laughing, running full of joy. He asked one of them, "Where's your phone?" The boy smiled. "What's a phone? Wanna play tag?" Ryan played for hours. No gadgets, no money, just real smiles and real friends. Happiness isn't bought, it's felt. Sometimes less is more. What if one glance could give you all the answers? Ria was about to make that choice. She had studied for weeks, but during the final exam, panic hit. One question made no sense. Her mind raced. Then a whisper. A classmate slid a cheat sheet under the desk. "Just take a look," he murmured. "No one will know." Ria's hands trembled. The teacher wasn't watching. Her grade, her future was on the line. She stared at the paper, then slowly pushed it back. She finished the test honestly. Her score wasn't perfect, but her heart felt light. After class, the teacher called her over. "I saw what you did. That took courage. I'm proud of you." Moral: doing the right thing is harder but always worth it. Integrity is success you can live with. Leo loved video games more than anything in the world. He could play for hours racing cars, battling dragons, building worlds. "Just one more level," he'd say as the sun set outside. Soon, Leo's game time started taking over everything. He skipped playdates, forgot homework, even missed soccer practice. His eyes felt heavy, his head hurt often, and mornings became a battle to wake up. One day, he fell asleep in class. "Leo," his teacher said gently, "are you okay?" "I'm just tired," Leo whispered, rubbing his eyes. That night, Leo's mom showed him a photo from last summer. Leo playing in the park, laughing, glowing with joy. He looked at the screen in his hands and turned it off. The next day, he set a timer. Only 1 hour of games. He went outside to ride his bike, played soccer with friends, and read a comic book. Little by little, the old Leo came back smiling, active, full of energy again. Leo still loved games, but now he loved living more. "Balance is the real power-up," he laughed, running outside with his friends. Moral: too much screen time drains your shine. Balance brings your brightness back. What if one small choice could change everything? Aryan was about to find out. Aryan was 9 years old and loved math. He worked hard all year to get into the school quiz contest. On the big day, his hands were sweaty. The room was quiet. He looked at the screen. Question 7. Too hard. His heart raced. He didn't know the answer. Then he noticed something under the table. A small note with answers. It wasn't his. No one is watching, he thought. He took a peek. He finished the quiz and won first place. Everyone clapped. He got a shiny medal. He smiled, but deep down, it felt strange. A week later, his teacher found the note. They checked the classroom cameras. Aryan was caught. The medal was taken away. He couldn't join the contest next year. Aryan was sad. He wished he had made a better choice. So, he promised himself, next time, I'll do it on my own. The next year, he studied even harder. He didn't win, but he felt proud, because this time, it was real. Moral: a shortcut today can block the road tomorrow. Honesty builds the best kind of winner. Rosie was the star of her school's soccer team, fast, focused, and full of energy. "I'm unstoppable," she laughed, grabbing a soda and a bag of chips after practice. Soon, her snack breaks became habits. Chips for lunch, candy after school, soda all day. At first, no one noticed, but then, things changed. Rosie started missing goals. She felt tired all the time. Her legs felt heavy during practice. Coach frowned. "Everything okay, Rosie?" "I don't know," she muttered. "I just don't feel like myself." That night, Rosie looked at her old photos full of energy, full of life. She stared at the half-eaten candy bar in her hand and dropped it in the trash. The next day, Rosie chose fruits, water, and real meals again. Slowly but surely, her energy came back. Her spark returned. In the big game, she scored the winning goal and smiled like she used to. Rosie cheered with her team. "No more junk. I'm fueling for greatness now." Moral: junk food kills energy. Real food brings it back. It was one chilly evening when a young girl named Sania wandered into the forest, her eyes wide with wonder. She walked alone, her footsteps soft on the leaf-covered ground, when something stopped her in her tracks. A wooden door, standing upright. Alone, no walls, no building. Just a door in the middle of the woods. Curious, she stepped closer. Carved into the old wood were the words, "Open me for a surprise." Sania hesitated, but her curiosity pulled her in. She reached out, her fingers just inches from the knob. But then, a voice rang through the silence. "Sania, stop!" Her brother, Sunny, came running, breathless and alarmed. He stood between her and the door. "You can't just open random doors in the woods," he said, his voice firm. "What if it's dangerous?" Sania stepped back, and at that moment, the door creaked. Then slowly, eerily, it sank into the ground, vanishing without a trace. The two siblings stood still, staring at the empty space. That day, Sania learned something important. Curiosity is a gift, but it must walk hand in hand with wisdom. Moral: be curious, but be careful. Maya always worried. Did I study enough? What if I mess up? What if they laugh at me? Her thoughts felt like tiny pebbles in her backpack. But every day, they piled up until it felt like she was climbing a mountain she couldn't see. One morning, Maya couldn't move. "I'm too tired," she whispered. Her backpack felt so heavy. At school, her friend Jonah noticed. "You okay?" he asked. "I have too many worries," she said softly. Jonah nodded and sat beside her. Let's take some out together. He helped her write them down, one by one. What if I fail the test? What if I forget my lines in drama club? What if no one likes me? Then her teacher came too. You don't have to carry these alone, Maya. She smiled for the first time in days. Little by little, the backpack felt lighter. With each shared worry, Maya stood a little taller. She still had some pebbles, but now she knew how to carry them. Worries shrink when you share them, Maya said, skipping ahead with Jonah. Moral: worries grow in silence. Shrink them by sharing. Soha dreamed of learning the guitar. I'll be a rock star in a week, she said, strumming wildly on her brand new strings. She practiced for hours on day one, then gave up the next. Too hard, she groaned. She kept jumping from song to song, skipping the basics chords, tuning, posture. Meanwhile, her friend Joya practiced just 15 minutes a day, slowly learning finger positions, one chord at a time. No rush, just rhythm. A month later, the school talent show arrived. Soha fumbled through her song fingers slipping, strings squeaking. Joya stepped on stage and played a full, beautiful tune smooth. Steady, confident. The crowd cheered. Soha clapped the loudest. She wasn't jealous, she was inspired. That night, she opened her beginner book again and started from page 1. Every day, Soha practiced just a little slow and steady. Weeks later, she played her first full song with a smile. Moral: rushing fails. Steady steps lead to real success. Can a shy boy speak in front of the whole school? Sam was scared of speaking. His voice would shake. His hands would sweat. Then one day, his teacher chose him to give a speech on stage. He almost said no, but something inside him whispered, "You can do this." He practiced in front of the mirror, in front of his dog, in front of the empty chairs. Finally, the day came. Heart pounding, Sam stepped onto the stage. He took a deep breath and spoke. Not perfect, but strong, brave. The crowd clapped louder than ever. Moral: when there is a will, there is a way.
What if the smallest act of kindness changed someone's entire day? It was pouring rain. Everyone rushed past the old man on the bench, soaked, shivering, holding a worn-out sign. "Hungry, please help." Most people didn't even look at him. But Mia, a 10-year-old girl, stopped. She pulled out her lunchbox and handed it to him. Just like Mia's little kindness made a big difference. Your little click on subscribe could help us reach more kids with more good stories. He looked up, eyes filled with disbelief. "Why would you help me?" he asked, voice trembling. She smiled and said, "Because no one deserves to feel invisible." He nodded slowly, tears mixing with rain. Kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything. Even the smallest gesture can light up the darkest moment. Subscribe for more powerful life lessons.
Respect is earned by giving it first. This is Ayan. He thinks respect means being the boss. Ayan stands with arms crossed and says, "Why should I listen to you? I'm older." Zara calmly says, "Because we should listen to each other." Ayan walks away from Zara, but Ayan's about to learn something important. Later that day, Ayan drops his books. Zara kneels to help. "Here, let me help you." Ayan was surprised. "Thanks, I didn't expect that." Zara showed kindness first, and Ayan, he noticed. Just like Zara's small kindness made a big difference. Your little click on subscribe could help us share more good stories with more kids. Next day, Ayan holds the door for Zara, smiling. "Hey Zara, you were right. Respect goes both ways. Respect is earned by giving it first." One afternoon, Chloe was home alone in the living room. Chloe is tossing a soft red ball indoors while glancing around sneakily, smiling playfully. Suddenly, crash! The ball hits a vase, which topples and shatters on the floor. Chloe gasps in shock, eyes wide. A little later, Mom came home. What happened here? Who broke the vase? Mom steps into the room, surprised by the mess on the floor. What do you think Chloe should do? Be honest or hide it? Comment below. Chloe felt scared. Should she lie? Chloe looks down, nervously fiddling with her fingers, and says, "I'm sorry, Mom. I broke it while playing. I should have known better." Mom looked at her and smiled and says, "Thank you for being honest, sweetie. That means a lot. Telling the truth isn't always easy, but it's always the right thing to do." Moral: always tell the truth. Subscribe for more stories with life lessons. At school, there was a high jump bar no one had ever crossed. Even the best athletes failed. So when Avi, the quietest kid in class, said he wanted to try, everyone laughed. "You? That's impossible!" But Avi didn't listen. Every day after school, he practiced jumping, failing, trying again. Just like Avi didn't give up and proved everyone wrong. Your small click on subscribe can help us inspire more kids to believe in themselves too. The day of the school sports meet arrived. All eyes were on Avi. He ran, jumped, and flew right over the bar. The crowd went silent, then exploded in cheers. Avi smiled and said, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." Moral: believe in yourself. Even the impossible becomes I'm possible when you try. In a small village, everyone complained about the dirty streets, but no one wanted to clean them. One day, a little girl named Bella picked up a broom and started sweeping. The villagers laughed. "Why bother? It won't change anything." But Bella didn't stop. Just like Bella's little kindness made a big difference. Your little click on subscribe could help us reach more kids with more good stories. The next day, a boy joined her, then a shopkeeper, then a teacher, and soon the whole village was clean. People stopped littering. They started caring. All because one little girl decided to make a difference. Moral: you don't have to wait for change. Be the change and the world will. In art class, Harry worked hard on his drawing, but his son looked more like a lopsided pancake. Around him, other kids were showing off their perfect art. Harry sighed. "Mine looks weird." His friend Myra leaned over and smiled. "But it's your son. I love how happy it looks." The teacher walked by and said, "Every drawing is special. Even the best artists make mistakes. That's how we learn." Harry smiled and added little sunglasses to his son. Now it's the coolest son ever. Moral: no one is perfect, and that's what makes us special. This is Caleb. He builds the coolest Lego towers. But his room? It's a total disaster zone. One day, Caleb needed his red sneakers for a birthday party. But guess what? They were gone. Under the bed, just a crusty sandwich. In the toy box, a pirate hat and a rubber chicken. Harper, Caleb's sister, walks in, holding a doll and smirking. Maybe the dinosaurs took it. Then, Caleb remembered the pillow fort he built last week. He crawled inside, and boom! Sneaker Central. After that, he cleaned his whole room and found lost socks, old toys, and a comic book he thought he lost forever. Just like Caleb's tiny cleanup led to a big discovery, your little click on subscribe can help us share more fun stories with kids just like you. Now Caleb keeps it clean, because shoes don't belong in castles. Moral: A clean room hides sweet surprises. Who signs up for a race they know they'll lose? That's what everyone was asking when Leo stepped onto the track. The school's biggest race of the year had arrived. The crowd roared for Ronan, the fastest boy in school. But Leo? Quiet, shy, never even placed before. Whispers filled the air. Why is Leo even running? He doesn't stand a chance. Even Leo had doubts. What if they're right? What's the point if I won't win? But then, he remembered his mom's words. Don't try to be the best in the world. Just be better than the you from yesterday. And you know, just like Leo didn't give up on himself, your small click on subscribe can help us inspire more kids to believe in their own journey too. Every little action makes a big difference. The whistle blew. Leo ran, not to beat Ronan, not to impress anyone, but to beat himself. He didn't come first. He didn't come second. But he ran faster than ever before. And for the first time he smiled at the finish line. So, did Leo really lose? Moral: you don't need to be the best in the world. Just be the best version of you. That's a victory worth celebrating. Sana dreamed of building the tallest tower in her school's Lego contest. But each time she tried, it fell. Again and again. Other kids laughed. Your tower is always the smallest, they teased. But Sana didn't quit. She whispered, one brick at a time, I'll get there. Every day, she added just one more layer. Slowly, carefully, patiently. Days turned into weeks, and while others rushed and failed, Sana's tower stood tall and strong. Everyone gasped. How did she do it? She smiled and said, I just never stopped. Just like Sana's tiny efforts built something amazing, your small click on subscribe can help us build a world full of inspiring stories for more kids. Moral: it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. Small steps build big dreams. Every evening, Myra would sit beside her grandpa's old ticking clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. She was tired of failing. She wanted to quit piano lessons. No matter how much I try, I'm just not good at it, she sighed. And just like Myra was learning to keep going, your small click on subscribe can help us keep sharing more stories that inspire big hearts. Grandpa looked at the clock and said, You hear that? It's been ticking for 50 years. It doesn't stop when it's tired. It doesn't race when it's excited. It just keeps going. Myra thought for a moment, then smiled. She got up and played again. Not perfectly, but better. Moral: don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Because small, steady steps create a lifelong rhythm. Little Lily wanted to be the best painter in school. She saw others winning prizes and shining on stage. She whispered, I want to shine like them too. But her grandma smiled and said, If you want to shine like the sun, first burn like the sun. So Lily started waking up early, practicing every day. While others played, she painted. While others rested, she learned. The art contest came and guess what? Lily's painting lit up the room. Just like Lily's hard work helped her shine bright like the sun, your little click on subscribe can help us reach more kids with more inspiring stories. Everyone clapped. She was shining now, because she had burned with effort and passion first. Moral: hard work is the fire that helps you shine bright like the sun. Young Leo loved building things from cardboard houses, robots, even rockets. Other kids laughed. "You're just playing with trash," they teased. But Leo didn't stop. He believed in his dream to become an inventor. One day, his teacher saw his cardboard rocket and entered it into a school exhibition. Everyone was amazed by Leo's creativity. Just like Leo's little idea turned into something big. Think your little click on subscribe can help us reach more kids with big dreams. Later, a real engineer visited and said, "This is brilliant, Leo. Ever thought of becoming a real inventor?" Leo beamed. He whispered, "That's my dream." Years later, Leo did become an inventor, building things that helped people all over the world. Moral: the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Even small ideas can grow into something world-changing if you believe. Ella was a quiet girl, not the loudest in class, not the fastest on the field, and certainly not the star of the stage. While others danced, painted, or sang, Ella found joy in reading books and helping others from the background. So, when the school announced a big talent show, everyone rushed to sign up. Everyone, except Ella. She thought, "What would I even do?" On the day of the show, backstage was buzzing. Costumes, nerves, excitement. Suddenly, one of the performers broke down in tears. She'd lost her script and couldn't remember her lines. Without hesitation, Ella stepped forward. She calmed her down, helped her rehearse, and stayed with her until it was her turn. After the performance, that same girl went on stage and said, "I couldn't have done this without Ella." Just like Ella's quiet kindness made a big difference. Your little click on subscribe could help us reach more kids with more good stories. The audience clapped not just for the act, but for the quiet hero behind it. And in that moment, Ella smiled, because she finally understood she didn't need to be like anyone else. She was amazing, just the way she was. Moral: you are just amazing the way you are. Don't change for the world. The world needs you. One sunny afternoon, a young boy named Blake unwrapped a candy and carelessly tossed the wrapper to the ground. He looked around. No one seemed to notice. Everyone does it, he thought. What difference will one wrapper make? Just then, his grandma Emma knelt down beside him. She picked up the wrapper and dropped it into a nearby bin. With a gentle smile, she said, "Blake, real change doesn't wait for others. It starts with one small action. It starts with you." This time, Blake saw a wrapper lying on the path. He paused, then picked it up and tossed it into the bin with a smile. In that moment, Blake understood. If he wanted a cleaner world, he had to be the start of it. Just like Blake's little kindness made a big difference, your little click on subscribe could help us reach more kids with more good stories. Be the change you wish to see in the world. One small act can inspire many. Moral: change begins not with the world, but with you. What small action will you take today? Tell us in the comments and let your change inspire others. The school hallway was quiet. Too quiet for a Monday afternoon. That's when Logan noticed something under the bench. A black leather wallet, worn out, but clearly full. Inside, cash, cards, and an ID. It belonged to the principal, Mr. Carter. Logan looked around. No one else was there. He could have kept some. No one would have known. But sometimes, doing the right thing feels louder than a crowd. If you love stories that inspire and make you think, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next one. Logan zipped up his hoodie and walked straight to the office. No hesitation. No one to impress. Later that day, the entire school gathered in assembly. Mr. Carter stepped on stage, holding up the wallet. "Someone found this and didn't pocket a thing," he said. "Logan, come on up here." The crowd clapped. Then Mr. Carter added, "You passed the test. You didn't take a single dollar." And he handed Logan a certificate. For honesty. You just earned your scholarship. Moral: doing the right thing even when no one's watching always pays off. Benny was a spoiled kid. He always bragged about his new shoes, new phone, and new toys. But he never shared, and he often made others feel small. When his birthday came, Benny threw a huge party. The house was decorated. The cake was massive. But when it was time to celebrate, no one showed up. Benny sat alone, confused and sad. His grandma hugged him and said, "Gifts can't buy friendship, Benny. Kindness does." The next day, Benny decided to change. He apologized to his classmates, started helping others, and shared what he had. Just like Benny's little kindness made a big difference, your little click on subscribe could help us reach more kids with more good stories, spreading kindness and friendship all around. Slowly, he made real friends not because he had the best stuff, but because he had the best heart. Moral: kindness is the real gift that brings people together.